Hey friends, this one's for the mama in her third trimester who might be experiencing a little discomfort or pressure in the pelvic floor from baby descending perhaps, or just some achiness in the lower back where the movements of a faster paced vinyasa may not be so comfortable anymore. So if you're looking to stretch, spend a little time with baby, dance a little bit in these last few weeks, you might really enjoy this practice. You just need a yoga blanket, 2 yoga blocks will be really helpful, and that's about it. So let's get going. We'll begin in a comfortable seat. I recommend sitting on a pillow or a folded blanket to support your pelvis while allowing the pelvis to maintain a slight forward tilt, the pubic bone pointing forward and down as you lengthen your spine up through the crown of your head. If it's okay, allow the eyes to close and just follow the sound of my voice. Breathe in the length of your trunk and exhale completely. Breathe in the length and width of your trunk and exhale completely. Maintain these longer, conscious breaths. And breathe into the space that is your baby's home and give yourself permission to arrive at this practice, at this moment of manifesting love and energy and sharing it with your baby, breath by breath. I'll let you know when to come back. Just enjoy a few more breaths here with your baby. Maybe follow the sound of the breath. Begin to let the light back in, opening the eyes. When you're ready, let's bring the arms forward. Then reach the right arm up by the ear. Stay firm in your seat as you reach, and then rotate the arm, making a big circle to reach behind you without twisting the trunk. Work to only move the arm, and then rotate the arm back up and forward again. Lift the left arm up, make sure to reach high to the ceiling, then rotate the shoulder as you make a half circle to reach behind you. Avoid rotating the trunk. Bring the arm back around. We're trying to move the bone in that socket. Repeat this with each arm one more time. Now this should feel like we are doing some work at the shoulders. We're trying to make this all about the shoulder joint. So maintaining the integrity in the trunk, not rotating the ribs, not moving the spine at all. Working hard to just move the arms. Now let's do both arms. Reach both arms high to the ceiling, then circle both shoulders as you reach the hands behind you and pause. Let's move the hands back here. Make some fists, circle them around, articulate your fingers. Just kind of warming up the hands a little bit. Now circle the arms back up, connecting the palms overhead, bringing Anjali Mudra or Prayer Mudra back to heart center. Close the eyes and breathe to your baby. We'll spend a moment here. Enjoy each breath that you share. Focusing every moment. Begin to open the eyes, and on your next inhale, interlace your fingers, flip the palms to face forward. Exhale and hug your baby around your spine. Inhale to reach the arms overhead. Circle the arms as you reach back to interlace your fingers at your lower back. Extend the arms and gently open the chest. Gentle rotation side to side if that feels okay, just at the rib cage. Then pause at center. Bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Pull your hands towards the right, lengthening the right side of your neck. Breathe here. And just feel that stretch. Come back through center and drop the right ear to the right shoulder, pulling both hands to the left. Breathe into that stretch. Come back to center. Bring the arms forward and move the hands into those fists again. Articulate the fingers. Move them around in a bunch of ways. Open the palms, close them. I'm preparing to use the hands a little bit more, so we really want to warm them up. Let's move into tabletop position now. Take your time, maybe bringing a blanket or some cushion underneath your knees for comfort. And then when you're ready, place your hands slightly forward of the shoulders so that the wrists aren't directly under the shoulders. This will allow for a little less strain on the wrists. Let's move the spine. Take a breath in and exhale gently to hug and round your spine, lifting baby up and in. Maybe move the neck a little bit here. Extend the spine as you move into cow pose. Again, maybe moving the neck. And let's round the spine into cat-cow one more time. Enjoy the breath. Let's pause and move the hips side to side. Kind of like wagging the tailbone left and right. Then we'll pause and allow the pelvis to draw circles around the knees. These circles can be small or they can be big. And notice the little side hip stretch that occurs each time we lean to the side. Circle in both directions. And then we'll pause somewhere at the center to tuck the toes and move back, bringing your hips to sit on your heels for a toe stretch. Just bring the hands a little closer, but keep them on the mat. And here we can move through a little cat-cow around your spine, lower your gaze. Extend forward. Fluid movement. And let's move back to tabletop position. Bring your blocks to the front of your mat this time. Let's keep the blocks in a medium setting so we can bring the forearms down to the blocks. Or you can always leave your hands straight and keep your hands on the floor. Let's reach the left leg back behind you. Ball of the foot presses down. Stretch your left heel or reach your left heel back, stretching the back of that left leg. Maybe rocking forward and back, getting into the toes, getting into the whole leg. Then we'll pause with the heel reaching back. Drop the left heel in, placing the inner edge of your foot onto the mat. Circle the ankle forward, bringing the top of your ankle to the mat. Rock to the outer edge of the foot as you complete a full ankle circle. Repeat this circle a few times. Move slow enough, as you can see here, to feel an active stretch around the whole ankle, and you'll notice the rotation occurring at the left thigh bone. We're going to circle in both directions. Make sure that we're really bringing some mobility to the ankle. Try not to be nice and stiff here. Try to do a little dance. Don't worry too much about perfection. Good. Let's bring that right knee in. And we'll take a little seat to meet the breath again. Feel free to dance the shoulders around a little bit if that feels okay. You can remain in complete stillness if that feels better. You can shrug shoulders forward and back if that feels good. And then if you haven't already, let's stay with a little stillness. The palms might rest over knees or thighs, breathing in. Allow the light back in, opening the eyes, and make your way back to your tabletop position. Come back down to your forearms if that was okay, and reach the right leg back, pressing the ball mound of the foot into the mat, stretching the back of your leg. And then we'll rock forward and back to stretch the toes. Really get in there, press into the ball of the foot. Then we'll pause with the heel reaching back. Drop the right heel in, toes face out. Circle the ankle slowly forward and then to the outer edge, pressing circles into the back of your mat. Kind of like you're digging a little hole back there. Move slow enough to allow the whole ankle to move and stretch. Enjoy the stance. Notice the thigh bone rotates in and out. Rotate the ankle in both directions. Stay strong in the arms too. Good. Let's bring the right knee back under the hip and take your time as you move your blocks to their highest setting. Bring your left leg out to the side and point the left toes forward. Rock your hips back for a breath. Rock forward and bend the left knee, turning the left toes out and lean into that lunge. Bring the blocks with you and reach up through the crown of the head. If it feels okay, activate your left foot as if you were sliding it in towards your right thigh, and pretend to slide the right thigh towards the left foot. Keep the front of the belly soft with each breath as you hug baby. Strong energy through the legs. Start to move your blocks back to the center of your mat now, and step the left foot to the outside of your blocks, coming to a low lunge. Rock the hips in circles, letting the tailbone draw circles down on your mat. Rocking that bowl in both directions. Bring your hands back to the blocks and tuck the right toes. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, lift the right knee off the mat. Taking a moment to feel grounded and stable in this lunge. I'm moving my left foot out of the way towards the left side just to make some more space for my hip. That might be comfortable for you too. Let's drop the right heel in, moving towards Warrior Two. We're going to take those blocks and move them to the right side of the mat as we heel toe the left foot towards the center of the mat. Coming up to Warrior Two, feel free to bring the hands to the hips. We can straighten and rebend the left knee a couple of times until we can find stillness with the left knee bent, left toes pointing forward, tall spine, and the arms come out. Bring your gaze forward past the left middle finger. Feel free to shorten your stance if that feels better, and then come back. Breathe into your Warrior Two shape. And then let's straighten everything out, reaching arms up, and then soften back down. Warrior Flow. Enjoy the breath as you dance a couple of times. Breathing soft and full. Let's pause in the next Warrior Two and straighten the left knee. Hands to the hips as you tilt the trunk towards the left, hinging at the left hip crease. And then come back. We're going to do that again 2 times. Hinge in. Let's pause and stay in this triangle shape. Breathe to your baby. Now let's bring the hands back down to the blocks. Move your blocks a little further away towards the upper and right corner of your mat. Straighten the arms, just as much as it's comfortable for you, and see if you soften your gaze down between the arms until there's a stretch across the chest and shoulders, maybe even around the lower back. This is a great way to open up the back of the pelvis, so reach the hips away from your fingers. Then bring the blocks back to the center, pivot the right heel up, bring the right knee back down. Move the left leg back towards the side, toes pointing forward, and rock the pelvis one more time, forward and back. Maybe pointing the tail down each time you come forward. Make your way back towards tabletop position, placing hands back onto the mat, blocks to the side. Just kind of wiggle the hips around or move the spine in any way that feels good for you here. Then we'll pause in a little stillness. You can come into child's pose or you can take an upright seat, just like I'm doing here. Let's spend about 4 breaths here. Lengthening each breath. Maybe enjoying the exhale a little bit more. Allow the eyes to open again and move forward to grab your blocks. Bring them to the tallest setting and bring the right leg out. Point the right toes forward. Rock the pelvis forward and back. Make sure you press into the right foot a little bit. Then we'll turn the right toes out, bend the right knee as you move into that lunge, leaning into it. Pause, lengthen the spine. Activate the right foot, pretending to slide it towards the left thigh. Pretend the left thigh is sliding towards the right foot. Nice active stretch. Maintain the length through the crown of the head. Press into the blocks. Breathe. Soft belly here. And then we'll move the blocks back to center and heel toe that right foot towards the outside of your blocks. Coming into a low lunge, bringing the hands to your hips. Begin to circle the hips. Remember, we want to encourage space in the pelvis, so these hip circles should happen often, as long as there isn't any joint pain associated with the movement. Move in both directions. Bring your hands to your blocks again, tuck the left toes, and lift the left knee off the mat. Take your time as you become more stable in this lunge by grounding the legs and lengthening through your trunk, crown of the head. Press firmly onto your blocks. Let's move into Warrior 2. Drop the back heel in and walk your blocks to the left side of your mat, setting up your foundation as you move up towards Warrior 2. Maybe your hands come to your hips for a moment while you allow the legs to get comfortable. You can rebend and lengthen the right knee until you find stillness. Let the arms reach out. Feel free to shorten your stance or stay there. Engage the feet. Kind of hug them in towards one another actively, or relax them if that feels better. But I'll always encourage you to ramp up some power. Let's do a little dance. Lengthen the arms up, straighten the leg, and rebend in your warrior flow. Enjoy this dance a couple of times. This can be soft, or you can make it a little more powerful. You can pretend that the ground is heavier, right? This is up to you. You're in control. Let's pause in the next Warrior 2 and straighten the front leg. Maybe bring the hands to your hips. Lean into the right hip crease for a moment. Keep the feet grounded and really feel that stretch through the inner front thigh and come back up. Then repeat, pausing for that stretch. Come back. And let's pause for a little longer now. Breathe into the width of your trunk and into your baby's entire home. Come back to center. Rebend the right knee. Bring your hands down to your blocks. moving them away from you towards the upper left corner of your mat. Extend the arms and soften the gaze down. Try to draw your hips away from your hands to create more length at the lower back and to widen the back of the pelvis. Baby likes a wide pelvis for extra space every now and then. And gently walk the blocks back towards the center. Lift the back heel up and bring the left knee down to the mat. Take your time as you move your right foot back to the side. Rock the pelvis forward and back again. And make your way back towards tabletop position. Take your time as you move the blocks out of the way, palms onto the mat. Then relax with some hip dances or some spinal movement here. You can always come to a resting shape like child's pose or a gentle seat, of course, too. If you want to keep moving, just allow those hip circles to be as big or as small as you'd like them to be in both directions. The knees can be a little closer together with these hip circles. And if you'd like to add a little more movement, widen the knees here and bring the big toes together, shifting the hips forward, tail down into extension for a little baby plank, and then sway back as you tuck your tail. This becomes a flowing cat-cow. So you kind of just tilt the pelvis, roll back, round, and come forward. You can bend the elbows here if you'd like to add a little bit more, or just keep rocking back and forth. Notice I'm not bending my elbows very much at all. So just enough to bring a little bit of energy into the upper body. These are all added options, only to explore if you feel like the energy is there today. Take a rest whenever you need. Start to slow the movement down and rest the hips back towards your heels. Maybe do a little dance side to side. And let's come up for a little stillness, breathing here as we come back to our breath pattern, as we observe the vibrations of our beating heart, the vibrations of baby perhaps. Enjoy the breath. Bring the light back in and let's move forward into a seat with legs wide. Maybe having something underneath the sitting bones just like we did earlier so that you can point the pubic bone forward and down, lengthen up through the spine. Then you can walk the hands forward a little bit until we feel a stretch through the inner thighs. You can sway a little side to side if that feels okay. And then if you need to, see if you readjust. I am literally pulling out the flesh underneath my sitting bones, moving my buttocks a little bit. And then once I'm comfortable again, I move side to side, just adding little stretches, more for the lower back. Enjoy each little dance. Maybe pausing for a little stillness. Now that you've created some space, you can just feel another moment into that hip stretch. Breathe. Now let's bring the bottoms of the feet together. Hinging and leaning a little forward into that hip stretch. Feel free to stay here. Or we can make this a supported forward fold by bringing the blocks together, stacking them, and resting the forehead on the blocks. Allow the hands to relax anywhere you'd like. Breathe into the space of your lower back. You can always replace the block with a bunch of pillows if that feels better, or a bolster. Enjoy each breath that you share with your baby. Feel free to stay as long as you need. May all beings be happy and free.